Today is December the 7th, and I have your Carolina Panthers report update for today. And Carolina Panthers are coming off a bye week and had a lot of news today. Now, normally they are in the facilities today, team meetings and getting preparation for the upcoming opponent, the Denver Broncos. So you'll hear a lot about Christian McCaffrey this week because his dad, as you may or may not know, played for the Denver Broncos, was a pretty good wide receiver for them. But the big news today was our COVID-19 list. That list increased today by 8 players. So I am going to talk about those players that are on that list, as well as, let me go ahead and go out of order a little bit. I'm going to tell you about the 2 players that we got a chance to talk to, 2 people that we had a chance to talk to today. One was head coach Matt Rule. Had a chance to talk to him today, but I'm not going to have much information about that conversation, only because it was a lot of recap about the last game and the challenges there and winning that game, as well as just a lot of optimism, just to be general with you guys about the team going forward and players with injuries and things like that. So I won't go into any details because to me there's nothing substantial there. But we did get a chance to talk to running back Christian McCaffrey. So let me park that there. I'm going to come back and talk to you about Christian McCaffrey and his conversation with the media. But first, let's take a look at this COVID-19 list, which is getting pretty large for the Carolina Panthers. So who do we have on this COVID-19 list? We have wide receiver DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. We have defensive tackles Derek Brown and Zach Kerr. And if anybody is wondering like me, since these are position groups, I wonder how many of these guys got together. I'm not saying they got together like in a haphazard kind of way, but got together over the break and got COVID from one another. And by the way, they cannot say whether or not these players were actually COVID tested positive or if they were just COVID close to someone who had the COVID. So keep that in mind, all right? But let me go ahead and get through the rest of this list with you guys. Linebacker Shaq Thompson, tackle Greg Little, punter, even though he's on the injured reserve list, Mike Pilardi, and then wide receiver Ismail Hyman. Those are all of the COVID-19 players that were on this list. And again, it was a week off. It was possibly players just being close to, maybe their family members or somebody went out. Nevertheless, I'm not going to speculate on that. That is your COVID-19 list. Got a chance to talk with running back Christian McCaffrey today. It was cool to see this guy because we haven't seen him in quite some time. When he hurt his shoulder, I forget which game that was, he didn't have availability after that game. We thought we talked to him a few days later, and we haven't. So it was cool to see Christian, and it was something that I like to bring to you guys' attention that happened. We're all in this world of COVID doing Zoom calls, and so players or coaches are on their phones like this having a Zoom call. Christian was answering a question from a reporter and just went dark, went black, and took a few minutes for it to come back on. He said, you could tell he was a little embarrassed. He said, yeah, I should have known better. I hadn't charged my phone. His phone died, and we were able to pick up the conversation. But Christian McCaffrey signed a really big contract this offseason, had lots of high expectations, as you have with a guy that just signed a new contract. So we asked, hey, how have you been handling this season? Had so many positive things going. It seems like now you're dealing with injuries, and you look like you were going to play, then you came out. You played, then you got an injury, came out, came back. But in response to that and how he's been reacting, he says, I'm taking it day by day, one step at a time. With football, you don't want to get too high, don't want to get too low. And he says, obviously, it's a game of contact. You expect to have injuries. And believe it or not, he says this is the first injury that he has had in his career playing football where he couldn't play. And then he went back and corrected and said, well, he did miss one game in Stanford. But even, if you've been playing football all your life, to have this season be the first time in your life that you miss games, I think that's pretty incredible. And he says that the days seem a little bit longer now when he's not playing because he has to spend so much time rehabbing and trying to get the strength and the conditioning back and just up to his standards. And speaking of his standards, he says that's one thing that he didn't need any more push or drive to play football and to want to be great, but certainly being out, and it's one of those things like you never know how good it is until it's gone. Again, he's stressing like he always has had a great appreciation and a great love for football, but being out, being hurt has inspired him to just be even greater. So to have a guy like Christian McCaffrey say he now was inspired to be even better so that he misses less games, that bodes well for the Carolina Panthers, as well as for the safety and health of Christian McCaffrey. And yes, he has experienced great frustrations being on that sideline, certainly feeling like he can contribute, but it's just, hey, you deal with the cards that have been dealt to you. Will he play this weekend? He can't say whether or not he's going to play. He just said that he feels great about playing this weekend. So obviously we're going to have to wait and see. And I'm going to say we will not know until Sunday, because he had a game a few weeks ago where coach on Friday was saying Christian's great, he's going to travel with the team. The next day he's not traveling with the team and doesn't go. But nevertheless, hope you all enjoyed the report. We'll be having daily reports for you this week, so please continue to subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button. And hey, don't forget, man of the people is what you guys say. Meaning, I work for the fans. If you have questions for coaches or players, I invite you to leave a comment below, and I'll try to ask that question to get the answers and post a video with the response for you guys. Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe. Enjoy your Monday.